What's up, guys? Daemonxel back again with another EVE Frontier video. That's right. It is the 29th. It is patch day. So all the things that they told us that was coming out in the 29th, well, most of the things that was new to the cycle, new to this era, has come out today with this patch. So let's talk about it. All right, so we are talking about the new stuff that's come out with the patch for the 29th in this third cycle. But before we do that, you know what I'm going to do? That's right. I'm going to instruct you to go below and use my referral code down below in the description of the video if you want to become a founder. So if you want to play the game endlessly throughout all the cycles, every era, without having to just wait for that free 10-day playtime in each cycle, you can do so. Just input my referral code. It helps me out with grace, and I really appreciate it. And that is the plug. All right, let's just set this, and we're going to talk about this in a minute. So 250, start. So one of the new things is endless entry, but we're going to get to that. Let's bring up the actual patch notes and discuss it verbatim. All right, so the first thing that's come out is the death loop, right? Now, what this basically means, when we read it here, it says the death loop introduces a much improved way for riders experience death and rebirth on the frontier. The system grants greater agency, clarity, and opportunity space for every rider who meets their end. So basically what this means is if you have put down a hangar, if you have put down a refuge, somewhere out there in the vastness of the universe, you can now choose that as one of your respawn points when you die. Now this basically, in a roundabout way, unlocks fast travel. So PvP is now back on the table. If you're in a tribe that is cranking out ships, you can take those ships, fling yourself out to the far wherever you found a settlement or something. Now you can place a refugee there, right? And you can store ships there. Or what I can do, you can just go there. Don't worry about saving your ships, blow everything up, get blown up, and then you can pop back home, no problem whatsoever. Or if you are an explorer type, and you want to be in different areas and explore everything there is in the universe, you can actually drop refuges across the universe, say on one side of the trinary to the other side of the trinary, blow yourself up in a wind, and choose that as your spawn point. If you set it up with a network node and hangars, then you can have ships stationed wherever you are in the universe. So that basically gives you agency to go wherever you want. It says here that when a rider perishes, whether in combat or with other riders, through conflicts with NPCs, or blowing yourself up through self-destruct, you have improved control over where you return to the frontier. So before it was, as long as you set your respawn point to a keep or maybe a network node, if you didn't do that, well, you're respawning back in the starter zone where you first launched the game when you first awakened as a rider. Now, as long as you got a refuge down or a hangar down or wherever your home point is, you can choose that as one of the points that you respawn at. Let's see here. Those points to choose from are any original starting locations. So when we first started the cycle, we gave a choice of 3 starter zones, right? Or you can choose a hangar or a refuge that you own that is out there in the universe. The system removes the need for the previous set home base. So you don't have to do that anymore. I don't know if you still do that, but I still have mine set. This is the first time I'm firing up the game since the patch, so I don't know. I have not tried it. It says here the design intent is to create a unified, more strategic death experience, strategic, with expanded opportunity of space. By allowing riders to make meaningful choices about their re-entry, like I said, it's fast travel, right? The next thing they introduced is the base building. Now, what does this mean? Well, the main thing is we can now move things 360 degrees, or we can go ahead and do them vertical. Now let's go into space here and see if I have the materials to maybe change things around. 1 second. All right, so I moved some materials over that I had in my leftovers portable. This is a mining belt that has been mined out. Let's just drop something down. Let's drop another refinery down, okay? So we're going to go into the build menu. We're going to select the refinery, and there you are. We now have total control over this. We can move it where we want. Let's go vertical here. We can move it, just up and down. We can go this way. If we scale, we can now set high or low. I'm not sure about how to do the 360. Oh, there we go. Rotate structure. There we go. Okay, if you can see that here, as you can see, we can spin it around. So you can now make nice uniform decisions and pretty bases, or make a course for when we said this in the interview. If you want to make a base and basically make an obstacle course, because remember, in a couple weeks we are going to get that WASD test. That is a timed event. So we're going to be able to test those out. So you can play around with that and basically see how much control you have over your ship. So this is the new base building mechanics. It took a little while to get that to where we are. Now, again, you don't have to select the arrow. You can just select the side of the box. So as you can see, I can select this side of the box, this side of the box, upper, we can go up, down. We can still move around. So wherever you want to do it, right? So in a nutshell, that is your new base building mechanics. And just as they have it written here, input materials can now be removed from manufacturing assembly regardless of its state. I think that's endless industry, right? That should be endless industry. We could test that out in a minute. We can input and output materials of the selected blueprint are now, again, that's endless industry. That's why is that in base building? Okay, so they just put everything down in there. So we have endless industry. Well, let's just talk about the base building, right? We just talked about having to move it around, right? So some can now be placed freely in a 3D space instead of only on a 2D grid. That means we can go vertical, we can spin things around, beautiful like that. They reduced the collision rules, so now you can move things within each other and move things closer together, so you can get that nice panoramic. So if you have like a Stargate, you can put a refuge inside a Stargate, right? Why would you want to? But you could. And also refuges, all decay timers have been removed from them. So you can just put one down, like I said, for wherever you want to go in the universe. You can just put a bunch of them down, just start traveling with 1,000 or however much metal rich ore you can carry, and just drop refugees wherever you want. Because whenever you die, you can respawn at any of those spots. So let's talk about the endless industry, because apparently they put it here. The input and output materials of the selected blueprint are now pinned to the top of the inventory window. Input materials can now be removed from it, regardless of its state. And let's see, that's refurbished diamonds. That's about blowing stuff up. So let's talk about this. Let's go to our refinery, which is already pumping out right now. All right. Yep, we still have 92%. So let's pick an open one here. And this is the other thing they changed too. Let's pick this. So relevant items for this blueprint, right? So you can have a bunch of shit in here, but as long as you selected this blueprint, which is the metal rich ore, that's going to be up here. So it can now sift through everything that you have. So say you have you're at your base and you're just, you have a ton of stuff inside your SSU or your portable or whatever blueprint you select on the left-hand side, the materials is going to be on the top right. So no longer having to dig through everything. It's going to be right there for you. Now we're at 99%. We're just going to do another run here just to show you guys, because it'll be a little bit easier that way. Let's just pick this one. We're going to deliver it there. We're going to send this for another 5,000. All right. So we have this started. It's going right now, right? We have 5,000 out of 5,000. Well, we can move this out, right? And there you go. Now, I don't know, because this is the last 5,000 I have, whether this is going to actually pump something out. No, or not, because we just removed the relevant. So we can let this go and we'll find out, because now that I just pulled all the materials out. Is this going to be a possible exploit? So we have 7 minutes and 45 seconds to find that out while we talk about the next thing. So we're going to find out. Don't worry, the video is not going to be an additional 7 minutes, but it is what it is. We're going to come back to that and find out. All right, so the reinforcement timers have been removed from all assemblies. So no longer, and I know some people are going to hate this, no longer are you going to have to put anything in reinforcement mode. You can just blow shit up. So you find an enemy base, blow their stuff up, take the loot, there you go. Again, we don't know how this is going to play out. Remember, they're trying with extremes here to try and find a happy medium. So now they also added new content. 3 new sites have that draw from the exclaves historical layer with fractured, half-forgotten relics of the past have been added. So we got 3 new sites. The new player experience has also updated with a new objective to build a network node. So you probably have to build that to get the grace reward for completing the tutorial. Let's see. Defect fixes. Corrected a fuel loss issue stemming from multi-stack refueling. All right, so known issues since they launched this. The death location icon sometimes is slow to appear. The autopilot selections appear on the respawn selection map. Distant respawn location cards jitter when you try to zoom in on them. And respawn selection cards change position after entering the settings menu. So we have that to look forward to. So they also put out a video to correlate with this as well. So let me bring that up. It's only 42 seconds, so we're going to play that. Right, so here we are. Let's go ahead and play this. So again, this is the base building. We just talked about this, moving your thing vertically or horizontally, rotating. This is a collision, so now you can put things within things. So the collision is a little bit tighter. We talked about this, moving things out of your industry, even though it's running a job. And this is the timer. So again, timers are gone. Marine Force timers, you're just going to be able to blow up other people's bases. And this is what the death map is going to look like when you reawaken. So that is that itself in a nutshell, everything in this patch. Now, it's not huge. It's not huge, but these are some of the new things that they said that we were going to explore in this. Now, the next thing we get to look forward to coming up, I don't know when, is the WSD control test, as well as the event. Now, we talked in a previous video about this event for the 2 new ships. Now, I did talk to CCP Overload, and this is a cycle-wide event, so it's not timed. I was either mistaken about it or information that came out about it was saying it was only 2 weeks. It's not. It's cycle-wide. And I'm going to be putting out a video about that event because it's complex. So we're going to, it needs entirely its own video to talk about. Also, on a previous video, I do want to apologize to Diddy when we talked about the recap of Cycle 2, where I said him and Social Assassin were blowing up each other, their alts to try to top the leaderboard. I was wrong about Diddy. The one person that he killed 84 times, Heisenberg, that was actually another player, and it was a dispute over an area of space about territory, which they did come to a meaningful resolution, but those were actually kills. Now, it doesn't really make a difference because they're all Wend kills anyway, and killing a Wend is like clubbing a baby seal. So until we can get the API to register the ship type that you blow up, the kill boards are kind of meaningless in my eyes. So there's that. So let's go back to that industry and see what happens when it runs out, since we took the materials out. Actually, if we're looking at this, we don't even have to run the test because as you see here, it's going to give us 0 out of what we selected, 0 out of this. Now, I wonder if we put it back in the last few minutes, can we get that? Will it actually run? No, it will not. So it's still going to give us 0 out of 0 with that run if we took it out. But say we're running, say I had 10,000 in here and I was running the job of 5,000 because that's basically all you can put out in the portable unless you're driving a Lorha or a Maul or some bigger ship that can take everything. You can take the materials out while you're going. Now, what does this mean down the road? Because they said when you cancel a job, you're going to lose the materials that you put in. So how does this affect that aspect of it? In other words, if you want to cancel a job, can you just take the materials out mid-run, then cancel the job so you don't lose anything? That's a question we should ask CCP, how that's going to play out. Other than that, that is everything that we have on the docket for you. As you can see, it's not going to give us any output. I'm going to have to run this job again. No big deal. And in the future, I'm trying to put out content. It's just a very slow cycle, guys. And I'm trying not to get burned out by the game. Yes, I want to put content out for you guys. But again, I'm trying not to get burned out from the game itself. So I've been bouncing around to other games. I'm not cheating on EF, but I've been playing some Baldur's Gate 3, some Divinity Original Sin 2, Final Fantasy Tactics, just other games. But I will always be putting content out. I wanted to show that. So we're going to have this. If there's a stream on Friday, we're going to cover the stream on Friday. I'm in the process of building a mall so I can finish out the ship progression series with putting out the mall ship video. I'm going to do that video on the event. We're going to be doing a video on the WSD controls when that comes out. So there's going to be content coming from this channel. It's just going to be in drips and drabs. So if there's any specific thing that you guys want me to put out, let me know. I'm also going to be putting out a video on jump ranges, how you can calculate them, how heat control works. That I think is going to be a good video as well to help people determine how they're going to jump. I'm trying to build a site which I'm going to upload to the public so that all you got to do is implement your information. All right, here we go. We're at 100%, but there's nothing to deliver. Wait, we put it back. So did we get everything? We did. Look at that. So yes, you can take the materials out, put it back, and you're good to go. Oh, you know what? I probably had 10,000 in there. So, hey, endless injury, it works. We're going to do this on another run. So, yeah. So, this is the last 5,000. Okay. So, yeah, I had nothing to take out. So, that was running. I'm an idiot. I've only had one cup of coffee so far today. So, it is what it is. So, until I talk to you guys again, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Fly safe. And remember, here on this channel, we are always one vision, one purpose, one front. I'll see you guys in the next video.